the council have decided to build a relationship with the Aboriginal community in this area.
I think we're the only council that has an advisory panel.
The Aboriginal Advisory Panel is important to ensure that we are advocating on the behalf of other community people, not just Aboriginal people.
And if the panel didn't exist, I think then you would be having people making a lot of cultural decisions without actually understanding the impacts or the knowledge of the area, the history, the stories, and really that richness of culture.
The council members that are present in the Aboriginal Advisory Panel that come along really are there to listen and deeply listen to our voices.
Well, I'd like to think that what I bring is certainly the connection of being a Kaurna person, living in also the area of Port Adelaide Enfield.
I bring my culture, my background in regards to the history of Port Adelaide.
I bring knowledge of not only community, but what's happening with our young people in the community.
I've worked in the area and lived in the area for over 25 years.
I bring localised knowledge because I'm not only an Aboriginal person who lives in this space, I also work in the local government area.
I suppose as Aboriginal people, we want to see a strong Aboriginal culture, not just for the Aboriginal people, but for all of the community members, to understand that richness and the value that it can present, whether it be looking at from a tourism point of view, whether it be understanding the First Nations peoples, or whether it be embedding some of those values that our people have continued to carry with us.
You know, we have a very dynamic council that are really truly invested in working in partnership with Aboriginal community members, so that's getting closer and closer, the realisation of that.
I believe that helps Port Adelaide Enfield Council to stay on track in regards to their cultural connections to the Aboriginal people of this community.
It's an opportunity for us as Aboriginal people that live in this community to have a voice with the council and other members of the community.
Anything that we ask of council, it's always we sit down and consult, we have a discussion, and there's always a positive answer.
I believe in terms of, having reciprocal relationships between Aboriginal and non-Aboriginal people is very important moving forward, considering that we all do share the area.
It's about encouraging people to see culture as not just belonging to the Aboriginal people, but belonging to all of us.
Look, if the Aboriginal Advisory Panel wasn't there, it would make it harder for Aboriginal people to put forward arguments to council in relation to, could be building aspects, could be historical aspects.
We need to be the motivators to change, because we need to build better lifestyles in our community for our mixed community.
We want to look at introducing young people as well. We're all old fellas, we've been around for a long time, but it's nice to be able to have some young blood in there to be able to come up with some fantastic ideas,
It's not for us to be speaking on the behalf of young people or our community elders. It's basically to ensure that they have the self-confidence and strong cultural identity to be able to translate those personal opinions and ideas about, once again, what that means for them living in the local area.
Aboriginal community, Port Adelaide Enfield Council can both prosper by enhancing the culture in a bridge that will build a good community.
Well, one thing that I would finally like to leave is a story about this one great leader who decided that he wanted to know and have control of all of the knowledge and the wisdom in the world. And so he collected all of the knowledge and the wisdom from our communities, and he kept it to himself, and he put it into a big bag that was made of kangaroo skin. And he decided, he needed to hide this, to keep it away from everybody else, because he only wanted people to come to him for knowledge, wisdom and information. So he found the tallest tree, and he decided to climb that tree and put this knowledge and wisdom at the top of this tree. And as he was climbing this tree, the weight of the bag was getting in his way, it was holding him up, and he was struggling to climb this tree. And this young person walked by and called out to the great elder. He said, "Great elder, what are you doing? What are you doing?" And the great elder said, "Boy, go away. It's none of your business." And then the young boy called out, "But great elder, I can see you're troubling. I want to help you." And the great elder said, "Go away, boy, none of your business." And as he continued to climb this tree, all of a sudden he lost his grip and he fell to the ground, and all of that knowledge and wisdom spread across all of the nations again. So we have that opportunity to be a part of the knowledge and wisdom by not only learning it, not only by sharing it, but in some ways by collecting it. And we can do that by talking to people, by being engaged with people, being a part of groups and councils and things like this. But what really was the puzzling for this great elder was he wanted to know, what was this young person going to offer them that would be of any help, considering they had all the knowledge and the wisdom in the world. And so he said to the young person, "What were you going to tell me that would have been of benefit for me?" He said, "Great elder, I could see that you were struggling. I could see the weight of that bag sitting on your belly was holding you down." He said, "All I wanted to tell you was if you put the bag to your back, therefore you would have given yourself more arm span, therefore getting your arms quite around that trunk of the tree and therefore climbing to the top of the tree." And he said, "But how did you know this? I have all the knowledge and the wisdom in the world." He said, "One thing." He said, "Common sense." So in life, we can collect all the knowledge and wisdom and it sits up in our heads. But it's what we do with it in our hearts that enables us to connect. And so like this young person, he was interested in helping, and therefore he used whatever he had to recognise that we can help people. So, nakara, being see you later, because we never say goodbye as Aboriginal people, and I look forward to seeing you, and Nai Chalia, thank you.